I cheated on my then pregnant wife 26 years ago and lost the chance to know my daughter. About 26 years ago, I cheated on my then pregnant wife, which I fully accept was 100% without a doubt a situation where I was fully in the wrong. I quickly admitted to it and she understandably went ballistic. She told me I'd never see my child ever and that she was gonna ream me dry with child support. Honestly, the first few weeks I tried to mend things. I told her that I'm not looking for forgiveness, but I am sorry. I at least wanted to be a part of my daughter's life, but she was understandably angry and she stood by what she said. She did what she said that she would do, and I honestly wanted it all to end without too much stress, so I didn't even bother with a lawyer. I lost the house, the car, and everything I owned and had to go back to my parents' house, where I got the scolding of my life. They carried me for a week straight, but again, I deserved it, so I never thought of defending myself. I quickly bounced back since I had a pretty good job and moved to an apartment, and it had been a few months, so I tried to contact her again. I just wanted her to let me have a relationship with my daughter at least. She had been born at the time and I wanted to see her, nothing more. She still refused and told me that I'm never gonna see her ever again. Well, at that point I was at an all-time low. It was clear that I had made a mistake to not try fighting for the right to at least see her, but it was too late to think about this, so after a few months of depression I got over it and started dating again. It took a few dates, but I found a new girlfriend. When we got serious I told her all about my past, my previous wife, my cheating, and my daughter, and she was aware of everything I had done, but she chose to trust that I would never do it again. 24 years later I've almost moved past all that. I'm married with 2 beautiful kids and honestly life's great. I still have thoughts and curiosity about my daughter, but from what I can gather from my ex-wife's social media, she married a brilliant guy and they raised her well and even gave her a brother. She inherited my hair and eyes and was a swimmer and excellent tennis player like me. She did well in school and graduated salutatorian. She got into college and my ex-wife gave me a chance to chip in for a car to celebrate that achievement. It was medical school and she's currently a first-year resident. I wanted to be a doctor once upon a time, but I could never hack it in medical school, and seeing her succeed where I failed is a joy. But she doesn't know me. Not even a little bit. She doesn't know what I look like, she doesn't know who I am, and it doesn't seem like she's interested. I guess that is probably why my ex-wife gave me an opportunity to talk to her back when they were trying to get her a car for college, and she wanted to know if I still wanted to meet her back when they asked me to chip in for the car. Thinking back, I don't think it was about the car, as they could have afforded it on their own. They are pretty well off. They could have financed it if they weren't. I think my wife was trying to open a chance for me to get some kind of relationship with her before it was truly way too late, but I felt like it was way too late at that point. I told her that she should feel free to tell her about me, and if she ever feels the need to meet me for herself, I'd be more than willing to do so. It's been almost 4 years since then and she hasn't reached out. My wife told me that she's not really interested in meeting me since she already has a great father. She said she told her about the car and all how I tried to be in her life in the earlier years and that I never missed payments for her child support. She said she doesn't really know me, but she appreciated the gesture. It doesn't seem like she's ever gonna be open to meeting me, and all I can do at this point is try my hardest to forget about her. It kinda sucks that I did this to myself, and even though I love my wife and kids and my life is great, I feel terrible that she's better off without me and I don't have a way to get to know her. All I can do is be proud from a distance, as she's not planning on approaching me. I've thought about approaching her and at least becoming acquaintances and introduce her to her half-sibling, but at the same time I don't want to be the one who reaches out. I want it to be her choice, because I took way too long back and I should have persisted, because I've missed way too much of her life to consider myself anything to her. She's right, she already has a great father. Getting involved with her will make no difference. We're pretty much strangers. I just wish that she could at least meet her half-siblings. No good reason for it, just some kind of relationship with a person I can't even call my daughter anymore. I only regret the people my foolishness ended up stealing from. My parents had a grandchild they died without meeting. I don't think they even got to see a picture of her or find out how she did in school. I basically robbed my whole family of the opportunity to get to know her. Above all else, she's family, and I believe they would have gotten along. I can't change that now, but I just wanted to get it off my chest. Thanks if you read until this far. My kids are also aware that she exists. She's also aware of them, but me and my wife agreed that we'll only ever try and arrange for them to meet up if they themselves want to meet up. Comments. 1. At any given point you could have gone to custody court and got your rights. That is on you. Cheating is not a valid excuse in the court of law for her to take away your right to see your kid. You gave Faye up. You didn't lose anything. You made the choice to not seek a court-ordered custody agreement. 2. For real. 26 years. He tried to spin it all in his favor, but still doesn't add up. He could have gone to court and paid for it with his good job, but after a few months of depression he got over it? Love that he needs to mention that his family gave him a hard time for a whole week. Then met a woman after a few dates and started over. Such a weird "I'm so deep and sensitive, please validate me" type of post. Super short timelines for everything except his years of being an absentee father. The part where he says she appreciated him paying his child support on time, lol what? This post is all kinds of bad vibes. Edit, just wanted to add that this entire post he keeps claiming he knows he's in the wrong, though it's framed like he's the victim. It's obvious that a lot of info is missing. Ending it off with him putting the onus on his daughter to have to reach out to him, and implying she should, while also trying to paint it as if he understands if she doesn't, but then he brings up the kids, ignoring that he was the one who abandoned her. Very manipulative. 3. The whole time I was reading this, I kept thinking, bro, you never actually tried. Begging his ex for an amicable co-parenting relationship should have been step 1, all following steps should have been seeking court-ordered custody. He literally stopped there and went, "Well, that one thing I did didn't work, so guess I'm all out of options now." It was clear that I had made a mistake to not try fighting for the right to at least see her, but it was too late to think about this, so after a few months of depression I got over it and started dating again. OP Dead Body wrote this out and thought it would make him more sympathetic. For someone who loves his daughter so much, he moved on incredibly fast. No wonder she isn't interested in a relationship with him. Did he even pay child support? 4. I find there's levels in cheating, and the absolute worst is when you're cheating in the middle of carrying your child. I don't think it was right of her to weaponize the baby against you at the time, but gosh, I can't even imagine being in a situation like that to begin with. However, you share some blame to this as well, as you didn't really seem to care too much to fight to see your baby, as you definitely could have. You gave up quickly and decided to take the easy route and start a new family. If I was your daughter, I would secretly resent you for it and can see why she has no interest in reaching out. There was multiple chances throughout the years to try, even your ex seemed to try later on, but it seems to me you tried to forget it ever happened. You also mentioned you had a good job, so affording a lawyer wasn't out of the question, you just didn't care enough to. 5. Wow, so basically this is what my life would have been like if my father didn't love me enough to try. My mother tried this exact thing after I was born. She took us both out of the house, hid us with the help of the authority in a battered women's shelter. I don't know the full story of why. I was too young to know if there was anything physical, but they fought a lot, and tried to get restraining orders for my father to keep him from seeing me. The courts allowed only 2 hours a week for me to see him, supervised at all times, and he never fused about it around me. In the end, it was proven that he was not a risk and he was granted proper visitation, which led me to hear him talk about how he hated my mother for catching me. He spent years in court to get custody of me, which eventually resulted in joint custody by my request to the judge after I was at an age that they could ask what I wanted. Long story short, my dad could have walked away easily. He didn't. You did walk away from your daughter though. 6. You paid child support and didn't even contend for custody? I don't think a single court in the land would have denied you access to a child you're paying for. If you didn't even explore this option, then it doesn't sound like you were all that interested, tbh. My parents split up when I was roughly 4 years old. My mom never stopped my dad from seeing us, but he turned out to be super flaky. I'm 30 now and we're basically strangers. Don't even know where the dude lives. He could have easily been in my life if he wanted to, he chose not to, and I now think he's starting to regret it, judging by things he said to my brother, who he's still in contact with. You could have easily gotten a visitation schedule sorted for your daughter. Your ex can't just decide you're not seeing her when you're helping to fund her lifestyle. That's not how it works. Sounds like deep down you didn't want to make the effort and you're just trying to garner sympathy. 7. I would sell my soul before I gave up my rights to my son. I can't understand the whole walking away from your kids, if you're a decent person at least. I have a son and pretty much told his mom I want 50-50 or I will fight you tooth and nail to get it. She decided that it was probably best to go with 50-50ths after I explained that I would sell my house, car and body on the streets if I needed to lawyer up and go to court. At the end of the day, if I was to lose my 50-50, what really matters is that my son knows I'd fight for him and for our relationship, no matter the cost.